have that instinct automatically? Because remember, some of this stuff is genetic. They either have it or they don't, right? This is what it's all about, people. Attack the boy! He must know that I'm in the dog fight with him. I'm next to him side by side. We have a bond that's unbreakable. We're in. We're in the matrix. How they say we in? The blue pill or the red pill, right?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay. Hey, so let me let some more people come in. I'm here. Larry Henson said I'm here on YouTube. How do I see it live? Are you kidding me? Let me send this to her. And then I'm gonna send this stuff to her. Okay, let me go right here.
That's Mama Bear right there.
Yeah, so she wants to see it. Let me show her. Here we go. Wow, we in there. We live on all platforms. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. My guy set that up.
Wow.
Yeah, Twitch. Yeah, Twitch and Instagram. We're on all of them.
Right. You're my first podcast, so
I won't be the last. You know, the thing about it is though, is we get into who you are, but the thing about it is that everybody's always interviewing the experts. Like the expert in this, the expert in the dog training, the expert in this breed, the expert in breeding, the expert in equipment.
Yeah.
But why not interview somebody who's a novice at a breed, right? Somebody who is a beginner. That this is your first rodeo as a Doberman owner. I'm so happy that you're able to take time out. So I want to say thanks, Lone, for coming in. This is your first time on my podcast, but it won't be the last. Okay.
Great.
I promise you, after this, you're going to get a massive amount of people say, how did you do it? No, I want Adobe from girl. I'm just kidding. But I want to say,
we'll give them the real story of what Adobe owner is, and they can decide for themselves.
Yeah. So tell the people who you are and where you reside, not your address, just where you reside, and all the good stuff.
Yeah. So my name's Lone. I run Cooper.Adobe is my Instagram handle. I'm based out of SoCal, LA area. Not much to it. I got Adobe. I started deep diving into being Adobe owner, needing to train him, following a whole shit ton of trainers, and then rabbit hole after rabbit hole, and I realized I needed to create his own Instagram handle because my personal account was just getting inundated with dog stuff. And I had to separate it. So I created Cooper.Adobe just to keep myself accountable of training and posting photos. Cause I mean, you're a pet dog owner, you're taking photos of your dog anyways. So it was just a place for me to post and share. And I've met a lot of people in just the small amount of time that I have this account. It's crazy.
You know what? I would say this as a podcaster that the breed sub-community, the breed culture, the breed community of that specific breed, they're like no other.
Yeah.
Just the way it is with the Dobies, it's just that way with the Rottweilers, it's that way with the Frenchies. The subculture thing is deeper than what people think, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm learning it.
Yeah, I love it. There's going to be haters out there. They're always hating about cropping and docking. It's just going to be what it is, right? But that's the breed standard. We're following guidelines that have been given to us as, hey, this is what the breed standard is. This is the only breed that was genetically created by one man for personal protection.
Yeah.
Personal protection. So let's get into it. Why the Dobie?
I actually want. I actually wanted a Malinois, and my husband wanted the Dobie. Um, and I actually told him,
No.
hey, each breed has their own, great things
Yeah.
about them. But I even told him, fine, if we're gonna do a Dobie, it's gonna be an American Dobie. A European's too big, it's too large, it's too much for me to handle. We'll do an American Dobie, and the opportunity came for us to bring Cooper into our lives unexpectedly. We had some friends who I wanted to clarify, he's not quite a rescue. We had some friends who did get him from a breeder here in SoCal, and for reasons of their own, could not keep him. And, they were looking for a good home for him to go to, and we were ready to get another dog, sort of. And so we brought him home. So, and that's kind of how I unexpectedly got him, and he showed up in our lives, and now he's just there, a big ball of European Doberman every day.
How old is Cooper?
He's about a year and a half old.
Oh, he's still a baby in the head.
Oh yeah, and he acts that way too.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't click in until they're 3. Yeah, be honest with you. So just
3. Everyone's
three,
been telling me 2.
no, that's females maybe 2 and under, but Dobies, a male, from what I've experienced, it'd be 17 years in January. 3 years, they're pretty much done with that puppy crap.
Yeah.
It's fun because you're doing something fun with them, but they don't want to do anything, it's all about affection. It's all about being under you. They're not trying to agitate you. They're not trying to rip your socks and your shoes. They're
Oh yeah.
yeah. But no,
He's still
it's
got that. Yeah, he's still got that right now. If I don't fulfill him, he's definitely getting into trouble.
yeah, yeah. Um, when it came across, first of all, let's get back to this Malinois stuff because I'm I'm you know I'm partial to the Dobie, but
Mhm.
why a Malinois? Why was you thinking about getting one of those?
Um, Size for one, one of the reasons why I wasn't looking at a European Dobie, even if we were considering a Dobie, size was one of them. Um, you know, and smarts and the activity level, energy level. Dobies have that too, and both working breeds. And I knew that I wanted an active dog. Like I like to go hiking. I like to be outdoors. I'm doing those kinds of things, and I wanted a dog to keep up with me.
There's another Adobe family member of ours. You should Google her. You should search her and follow her YouTube channel. Her name is Celine, and the name of her channel is called Celine Tales.
Hmm.
Tails. She
I mean,
has
if you own Adobe, you know of Celine.
yeah, yeah, but she got a Malinois too now.
Yeah.
So and she got about a handful of reptiles. She got all kind of animals. She's definitely an animal lover. So, but people for me, and I'm not going to put everybody in the box in the category, but usually when they get Malinois, they want to do sport work, protection work, and that's cool. But that's a cheat code. That's like knowing the cheat code in a video game.
Yeah.
It's like it's expected for a Malinois to run up a 12-foot wall. It's expected for a Malinois to bite your pants legs at 6 weeks of age. It's
Yeah.
expected of Malinois to have ultra high prey drive. It's expected, right? The beauty is seeing the off breeds do the same
Yeah.
type of work.
Yeah. I'm
Same
learning a
work.
lot about the Doberman and their capabilities, and going down that rabbit hole of sport work with Dobermans. It's so fun to watch the videos.
So let me ask you this. Now, when you rescued him from another friend, did the dog come with AKC papers or he held the papers back on that?
Um, the breeder that he got him from, and I don't want to name the breeder, but they are based out of SoCal, but she's didn't quite give all the papers, which honestly wasn't important to me since he was just going to be a pet dog. Um, it's more for health reasons that you would ask for those things, right? Um, Thankfully, there's a lot of channels that you can go through. I mean, I had to do a big deep dive into Dobermans and their usual health concerns and things like that, and you learn a lot of things like DCM is a very big thing with them, and, I do what any normal pet owner does. You go and you ask your vet, what do they recommend? What are we supposed to do? How do we manage it? How do I know that he even has it or not? So it, I took it upon myself to do some genetic testing on him, um, which is
Who's
super
using Bark?
easy.
It's using Bark?
No, I did it through the UC Davis
Yeah.
um, site, and they send you a little kit. You swab their mouth, you send it off, and they come back and they tell you whether or not they have the genetic line of
It's
DCM
not
and
the markers. Yeah.
yeah. So I did that, and I just did an allergy test that I sent out yesterday too. So like there's ways I think to provide a certain level of healthcare to your pet if you choose to dig that deep.
So the way that first I was always following you. I didn't know that Johnny was taping the ears.
Yeah.
I
I
did,
actually found Johnny through finding your YouTube.
appreciate it. Yes. You see how it all was like 360 degrees? See? And so Johnny, when I did an episode about ear taping, I let Johnny come on because I mean, I know how to tape ears, right? I've been taping ears for a while, but it's so much better when somebody else is dealing with that. And when Johnny told me about it, I said, man, you know what? I need to bring her. And I saw your page. I said, I need to bring her on because I never really interviewed anybody who are first time Doberman owners. I've used, like I said, we talked about it. I usually interview people who are experienced with the breed.
Yeah.
So my question is, you are not inexperienced with owning pets, dogs. You've owned dogs before, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I love dogs.
What,
I love all breeds of dogs. Yeah.
what type of dogs you've owned?
Growing up, I had my childhood, we had just kinda like a mutt dog, like a small mutt dog. And then in my adult years, I had a pack of dachshunds, those wiener
Ooh,
dogs.
yeah,
So I had a little pack of them, I had 5 of them and also of the European family and working dogs, and I joke all the time that Cooper is now just like a bigger version of my wiener dogs that I used to have because they have a lot of the same temperament actually, but just in a
yeah,
small body.
yeah.
Yeah, so I used to have like a pack of dachshunds, and they lived a very long life. And I think Cooper came at a right time when my last dachshund was 16 and he recently passed. So they only had a couple of months overlap together.
Hmm. Um, what was the huge difference? I know you said there was some similarities between yours and the dots, than Cooper and the Dotsons, but what were the things that you had to that you had to get accustomed to that Dobies have done that you were not experienced with? Like what was it the energy level was different? What do you talk to me
Size.
about? Size,
Size
okay.
is definitely size was a big thing. Um, and he grew so fast in size. He they have absolutely no rear end awareness. You have to teach that. He's bumping his butt into everything, swinging it into everything. Um, Very whiny. They're very, very talkative. Like he will tell me when he's ready for play or not done playing or when he's hungry, or um they're just super smart too, you know.
Mhm.
He tells me exactly what he needs. Yeah.
What is his diet like?
It was a struggle in the beginning. The we must have changed his food like at least 3 or 4 times to get his bathroom situation to a good place. But now we have him on Farmina, and
Mhm.
I feed him a little bit of raw as toppings or on the side or as I'm cooking things. He gets a
What
little
type
bit
of
of
raw?
fresh food. Just any whatever I'm cooking or bones, bone marrows, bones, chicken feet. I give him, pig ear. I give him um, whatever I'm cooking or whatever scraps I might have. Then I'll make sure it's safe for him to eat, and I top his food with it. Um, Again, he's not doing sports or anything like that, so I am able to kinda just manage his diet. Like, it's not like he needs anything crazy additional because he's not working at that level of, physical fitness doing sport.
So this is a good thing too, right here. The good question about the ask you is really is really imperative to a lot of people. I think it's like today I posted a video maybe 30, 40 minutes ago. That's why I was late getting on. I'm doing some luring with my new puppy. And I stole an idea. First of all, um, the things you do, the trainers, what trainers do for their dogs or training a dog, they usually got it from some other trainer. So it's okay to
Mhm.
copycat the right cat, right? So Larry Hansen, when she was training one of my dogs, she was using these liver treats. What is
Yeah.
this? Right? So now when I'm training my dog, he all liver, all liver treats. And I used to think that Larry had like, you know how like in the Bible, Jesus talks about how he fed the 3,000 people with just some bread and fish, right? And
Mhm.
so Larry, when she gives this treats to these dogs, it seems like she has like everlasting gum stoppers of liver treats in her pocket. Like, when are
Yes.
you refilling? I'm like, have you put some more back in there? Because it's like she just keeps giving and giving and giving. I'm like, damn, like
Yep.
you must got like 10 pounds of liver treats. So I say that to to ask this question. How did you when did you decide you said I need to get some training in this dog? And how did you make your selection of canine trainers? Because there are a lot of them out here.
We went through a few. It was never a question on whether or not we were gonna train him. The agreement in the family was if we were gonna bring home a Doberman, I never wanted him to ever be in a situation where the stereotype of an aggressive Doberman, um, worked to his disadvantage because I knew it wasn't true. So I knew that obedience was a priority for me for him to have. I did not know about how many different trainers there were in SoCal. It's insane the rabbit hole I've gone down, and so many different people, and how everyone's even interconnected. Everybody knows everybody. Um, but honestly, I signed him up for like a group class at the Long Beach Animal Shelter because they have a SPCA LA over there, a great nonprofit rescue here in SoCal, and they run these group classes that are very affordable to the public. Um, I didn't know what I was doing, so I joined one or two of those classes, which was great. It gave him exposure around other dogs. Um, Even though most of the things that he was learning in that class were things that I've already through YouTube, through Instagram training videos and trainer videos and just talking to people and reading, like I had
Mhm.
already done some of those basics, right? Like sit, stay, down. Um, but taking him to those classes and having him be in that close proximity to other dogs, I think was the most benefit out of those group classes for me. And then I realized after that, okay, he needs more training than just the basic obedience. I need help because I don't know what I'm doing. Um, and I found Oscar's group, the Elevated Canine.
Oscar
Um,
Mora, yeah.
yeah, I found his, and I linked up with them and I reached out to them, and they linked me up with a trainer who was a great trainer too. He helped us a lot, and he still helps us now. And then from there, I moved on to Larry because she was much closer. She lives very close to me, and I found out that she lives
Mhm.
very close to me. So I asked to link up with her, and they put me in touch with her. And now she's his mama bear. She takes care of him, and she helps me be a better handler. She teaches me to do better in the training too, and she's hands-on with him as well.
Yeah, I've known Larry for a while, and I love Larry. And the one thing that a lot of trainers don't do, not all, but a lot of trainers don't do, Larry talks to you in a way that you can understand the whole process.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like because Larry doesn't want you to be her client forever. Her goal is for her to teach you how to administer these commands, right? It's like
yeah,
personal
yeah,
training. The personal trainer is not supposed to be a personal trainer in the gym forever. He wants to get you to a point where you can do this on your own. You know, that's
yeah.
for the real world. So I love how she's very transparent, and there's some trainers here. Um, I won't speak on their name, but I think the communication is really like distorted to the point like, okay, how do you want me to do this if I'm not doing it this way? And as a client, you want to be able to communicate with your trainer. One of the many things that Larry is good at is returning text messages. You know,
A
returning
hundred
calls.
percent. 100%. It's
Dude,
I
that bugs the shit out of me when other people don't do it. It's like 2 days to return a call, 2 days to return a text. I know you're taking your phone everywhere in your house,
We're
so
definitely lucky in that aspect that we found Larry, and been so she's contributed so much to us as a trainer. And like you say, it's because she's hands-on. It's not just she trained us for an hour or she took him for a day training and that's it, and I don't see her again until the next session. I record our training sessions, I send them to her, she gives me feedback. And I think that's important because the reality of being a pet owner, I work a full-time job, like I'm commuting to work. People in LA know what commuting in LA means. You're spending almost 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours a day just being on the road. So that's time that he's just sitting at home in his crate or in my office. And um, a typical day would be like I work him in the morning before I leave for work. He's at home by himself for a good 6 to 8 hours. I come home and I gotta work him again. Otherwise, he's just, he's been napping all day. By the time I come home, he's full of energy and I have to do something other than just walking him in the neighborhood. It's not enough.
let me ask you this. So have you neutered him?
No, he's still
Okay,
intact.
yeah. So don't do it. That's my recommendation. It serves no purpose.
Yeah,
I always say you take something away from a dog when you take an organ from them. Unless it's a medical purpose,
yeah.
I'm not doing it. Let me ask you.
And
Go ahead.
we don't have any I don't have any goals of breeding or anything like that, but it is a health choice, especially the vet has asked me multiple times, and from what I've read, he hasn't fully matured yet at 1.5 years old. And so, am I ever going to do it? I don't know, but it's definitely not going to be anytime soon while he's still growing.
Right. I'm gonna show some pictures of Cooper in a minute, but this is a public broadcast notice here. Most vets want you to neuter and spade your dogs. They're not pro breed. They want to neuter and spade all animals. Don't unless you go into a one of those vets like SoCal Riverside where they're all about procreation of animals. Most
Hmm.
vets want you to, and they give you all these excuses. Well, he may get cancer. Well, he may get that. You got. Well, I had prostate cancer, and I was able to save my prostate. My boys are totally fine. Why should I cut something a good off of them that's not causing them an issue? So I don't like that. It's just it's bananas, you know. And it's always a topic when I have to go to a vet for medical reasons outside of that. Oh, you should think about doing this. Well, do you want to make money on me? Is that it? I
We
don't
get
know.
asked we get asked every single time we take him in. We do. And again, it's not because I'm pro or against breeding. It's not. It's just from what I've read, it's the overall health of the dog.
Yeah. Let me show some pictures of Coop. Oh, get back. This is a good thing. So have you guys worked him as far as prey drive to see what he's what he got in the tank? Because I love seeing dogs work.
He does, he does. Johnny's been trying to get me out to do bite work for as long as I've been ear posting with him, and even after, he's trying to get me to get out there. I think he definitely has it in him. He's been loving to tug ever since ever since I brought him home. His favorite thing is tug. He will tug over treats, over ball, over food. He definitely has it in him, but I just haven't taken him yet. Larry's flirted with him a little bit. I think I have a video on my Instagram of her flirting with him, but he loves it.
They love to work. Guys, I'm gonna show you guys some videos. Which one do you think I should look at to show that he can do a little bit of work? Which one is it?
Um,
This one right here?
maybe that's the first day he ever met Larry. That
Wow, he's
was
a big
Larry's
boy.
Yeah, that was the first day he ever met Larry. Larry was just doing an assessment on him and doing some play with him. And yeah,
He's a big boy. Look at him. Wow, big
he
and
is.
dark.
But people tell me he's small for a Euro. He's clocking only 85 pounds.
That is a perfect size. That's Euro standard. You don't want to, you know, unfortunately, these owners or breeders, for some reason, size matter.
Yeah.
Right? My brother loves the water too. Size matter. And I don't see too many oversized Dobie live beyond 4 or 5 years.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. So you got him just the right size. I see his waistline. You want to keep him just nice and tight.
Yeah.
Don't change nothing. He's going to grow, if not taller, a little bit thicker and wider he's going to stop at 2. So he's still got about 6 months to go.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
see my boy Titus. I was like, damn, he got bigger. And we're not talking about big as fat. We're talking about big like
Yeah.
the grown man body's
Wide.
coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no,
Definitely.
he's got about 2 more years. I definitely would mix some raw in there sometime. I get my raw food from this guy out in Louisiana, and he got these 2-pound and 5-pound chubs. And you definitely see, because dogs by virtue are carnivorous creatures, right? They're not omnivores, they're not herbivores. They thrive off of raw meat.
Yeah.
We've curved that enthusiasm of them eating raw by kibble. But
Yeah.
I do think that a raw diet, not 100% raw diet, raw 2 weeks out of a month, because it's expensive, right? And it's messy. I
Yeah.
think that it's a game changer for the coat. The nutrients, they poop less, because with kibble, most of it's filler, right?
Yeah.
And then they pooping right after. But with raw food, man, it takes their body a minute to digest that.
Yeah.
And
They're absorbing more of the nutrients, I hear.
nutrients, right, right. I know when I feed my boy like raw hind quarter chickens,
Yeah.
the bone and everything, I noticed that they poop like 12 hours later. But when they poop, if you don't pick it up, it calcifies. It
Yeah.
literally turns to dust, because the body has taken the fat. It's taken
Mm.
the meat for protein, and it's taken the bone as calcium. And by the time it comes out, nuggets, and you see a little white dust around if you don't pick it up fast enough, right?
It's definitely something that I've been considering whether or not I will transition him, but, to the point of this podcast of being just a pet owner, the reality is too is, if I ever needed family to watch him, or if I was on vacation, I gotta think about who's gonna go to the effort to really be feeding my dog raw, and
Nobody.
nobody. Unless, I mean, if you're in the industry, then yeah, you've got fellow friends or fellow trainers who are in sport with you, or training with you, and they're willing to do that because they're doing that with their own dogs
Correct.
already. But if I'm dropping him off at grandma's, she's gonna want to just scoop kibble for him. And that's just the reality of it. And I have to make sure that he's gonna eat whether or not I'm there, or he's with somebody else. And if that means he needs to be accustomed to kibble, I have to make sure I do that because that's the reality of the lifestyle that I'm living.
Yeah, that is so true. That's why when I said, at least raw twice a month. or once a week, a 1 week a month. What I do is that I don't want people who I am entrusting to take care of my dogs when I'm out of town to have to do all this
Mhm.
concoction, the salmon oil and the supplements, the 8-in-1
Yeah.
vitamin pills and the probiotic.
Mhm.
And I just want them to be able to put the kibble out there, pick up the poop, clean it down, and be a substitute teacher until I come
Yeah.
back, because I want to be able to use their services again, because I'm finicky about my animals, but I make it very simple for people to take care of him when I'm gone, or them, or even my cats. When me and my wife are gone, we just make it real simple. Hey, one scoop in the morning for both cats. The pooper scooper is electronic, so it picks it up by itself.
Yep.
Keep the water thing filled, because you're burning the engine out if the water is not certain
Mhm.
level. We keep it simplified because we're out of town. We're out of state too much for that,
Yeah.
for somebody to come over and fix this out.
And you don't want something to go wrong either, right? Because 'Cause you're not anywhere nearby to fix it. So, the simpler you can make it for somebody, and for the average pet owner or families, who are just doing day-to-day things, their only interaction with a dog typically is feed twice a day, maybe, water, but it's kibble, like, or home cooked food, but it's not raw. I don't think it's caught on enough where there's enough families outside of hardcore breed specific people who are doing raw with their dogs.
It's true. Let me ask you this. So, since you're a part of the best family in the whole canine species, we've said a lot of good things, but what are the negative things you've heard about this breed? What are the negative things? Because we said a lot of good things about the breed. What are the
Yeah.
negative things you've heard about? And I know one of them you probably heard while you was taping the ears, if you posted them online, is that people don't like Dobie owners cropping ears, right? So my question
Yeah.
is, what are some of the negative things you've heard about the Dobie?
Um, Prior to me getting Adobe, it was more the stereotype. They're aggressive. They're definitely protection dogs. They're overpowering. Um, but I'm also a dog lover, so I always research every breed. So I knew that they were Velcro dogs because that's just natural instincts of being a protection dog, right? Um, but it was more of the stereotype of just aggression in a Doberman. Um, and so that's why when I brought him home, I was like, training's not an option. We're doing training with him. Um, and now that I have him, I'm like, it is all training. Like they're babies. They're not aggressive at all if you're teaching them right and fulfilling their needs. Um, and as long as I tire him out and I give him the exercise, when I say tire him out too, I'm doing like 10-15 minute training sessions with him. It's not
Mhm.
I'm not doing hour-long training sessions with him every day. And especially when he was under 1, he didn't have the brain power for it too. You see the lights turn off. If I try to train him more than 15-20 minutes, he just gives up.
It was like, I'm
Um,
done.
yeah. They're like, either play with me or I'm not interested. So the ear posting was definitely a journey. That it's I think if you're a pet owner and you're considering getting Adobe, the ear cropping process is something you really need to be dedicated to, and you really need to be honest with yourself on whether or not you're going to see that through, because it is not for the faint. You know, um, when I got him at 4 months, the his ear postings weren't his ears were a little floppy, especially on one side. And it was because, the place that the other family was taking him to for the postings um wasn't doing great job of posting. And so then I took them. It was a vet in Long Beach that did ear postings because they also did croppings at that vet, which is, I think, one of the very, very few vets in the SoCal area that actually does ear cropping. But I did not like the way that they were taping his ears because I would go in, they'd get tape, and by the end of the day, it would pop out or it would flop over or it wasn't, very tight. And we were also doing 1 week on, 1 week off, which
Right.
I later learned you're not supposed to take any time off. You should
Correct.
really be just ear posting straight all the way through.
Back to back.
So, in order to fix his floppy ear, I was ear posting him until he was 11 months, almost
Mm.
1. And that was me going to Johnny every week. And partially because I was too lazy to do it myself. I tried to do it myself. It is not easy to get the right pressure to go around the ear to be tight enough where it holds, but not too tight that you're cutting off circulation and damaging the ear. Um, the tediousness of like wrapping the tape, wrapping the posts, before you put it in, cleaning the ear, all that stuff. Um, and even with Johnny doing it, we had our ups and downs. There were days where like I had to give him a rest because it got like moisture in there and it would like have a little fungus or something like that, and we would have to like take a break. He'd be too rough, and then the tape would kind of dig into his ear a little, give him a little cut. We'd have to take a break. It wasn't a smooth just, hey, I showed up every week to Johnny, he taped it, and we were good. Like it would be Johnny would tape it, he'd do a great job, but even with a great job, you never know what a dog's going to do. He's going to play too rough, he's going to shake his head, another dog's going to scratch him, I'm going to scratch him while playing tug. Um, all of that kind of factors in, and it's a journey. You got to be if you're in it, you got to be willing to ear post for at least the first 6 months straight. And that's assuming you were doing it right from the get go. And that's not something I expected when I brought him home.
Yeah. So what I don't like seeing as a Doberman, I will say a Doberman expert, is when people get the ears cropped, then both ears are flopped because they didn't stay on top of the taping. And
Hmm.
I had a reel out, a 30-second reel when he came to the house and we did that episode. I said, listen, if you can't stay on top of the taping, pay somebody to do it. If you can't do that, don't crop them.
Hmm.
Because people they think that they can keep the tape off for a week, 5 days, 3 days during this puppy stage. And the problem is that when the dog is cutting his baby teeth and the grown teeth are coming in, they become calcium deficient, right?
Hmm.
So now the calcium that is usually used to stiffen up the cartilage in the ears are now being drawn back to grow the grown teeth in. And so during
Hmm.
that process, even though the ears are standing up while you took the tape off, but he's still cutting new teeth, you got to keep staying vigilant with keeping tape on those ears. And
And the timing of that
yeah,
always happens at the same time, right? Because their teeth is growing in usually around 6 to 8 months or something like that when they fully lost all their teeth. And that's
yeah,
usually around the time people are trying to stop ear posting. Because
yeah.
they're just done with it. They've been doing it for 6 months, and they're like, his ears down, and I'm good. And
But yours on Cooper, it looks pretty good though. Whatever you did, you stayed on top of it. And I do like this one because I know who this person is right here. I like this right here. This right here. So now I've did those photos with her before, and they come
yeah,
out phenomenal.
yeah. Anna does
She's
a
doing
great
it again
job.
right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Anna Rose, yes, Anna Rose.
Yep.
She's doing it again because
Yeah.
when I did my two dogs with her, she was only in town, and when I mean in town, she was only in state. I think she comes from out of state a lot, from Oregon or somewhere. I don't remember, but
She's local right now, but she's gonna be moving back home out of state pretty soon. So if you want those photos, definitely get her before she's gone.
my man Richard Gardner, if you ever need any digital flyers done, like I'm posting recently some digital flyers, movie themes, or announcing a breed or a litter, but he's done some for just the dogs itself. He makes those digital flyers, and so this is him. He's Team Roddy. He's a Rottweiler
Right.
breeder and he's a Rottweiler owner. But listen, the Rottweiler blood and the Dobie have some of the same blood, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we have brothers and
We
sisters here. So
family.
We
We still
family.
family.
Eyes are married now. Anyway, speaking of conditioning, working the dog out, keeping him in shape, keeping him
Mhm.
busy. I don't do dog parks. And people seem to think that when I put my boys on these manual operated treadmills, I think I paid mine $1,900 5 years ago, but it's saved me so much time and effort. I have one of those
Mhm.
manual wooden slat treadmills where the dog controls the speed. And when I put all my boys up there, other than the righty, they go crazy. And they doing
Yeah.
like 2 miles in 8 minutes or whatever the case may be. Have you
Yeah.
found it hard to condition them the way you want to? Because walking the dog is cool, and he does get a
Mhm.
workout. But Dobies have
It's not enough.
greyhound in them. It's not enough.
Mhm.
Dobie's a part greyhound. That means they love to run. Like when Cooper, when he's in the backyard, he's not walking. He's trotting everywhere. He's running here. He's
Yeah.
trotting there. So they love to do more than just a walk pace. What are you doing
It's
to condition them?
I'm hitting the parks, not dog parks. I don't do dog parks either. But I do take him to the public parks because my backyard and my front yard are not big enough for him. So I am since I brought him home, very well familiar about all of the parks around my area now. And I take him to big areas, and part of it is the training too. His obedience training has to be there in order for me to allow him to be off leash, and I need him to be off leash so that he can just run his heart out. So I take him to an open field. I let him go sniff. He loves to sniff, and
The
I
first
just
time,
let him
first
do
time
it.
you do this right here first. You're like, anybody's around? Okay. And you throw the ball and go get it, boy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I gotta look around, make sure no one's gonna be too frightened of him or anything like that, and thankfully, the Velcro dog in him keeps him from running away from me. I think, like, one of the personalities of a Doberman, where they say he's personal protection, and so they always wanna be near you, it's true. Thankfully, one of the few things that I never had to worry about him was him running away from me, even as a pup. So I've never had an instance where, he just ran away from me and I had to chase him or he didn't come back to me. So I'm definitely lucky. I don't know if I'm just lucky with Cooper or if I'm lucky as a Doberman owner to have that. But recall training on him came pretty naturally. I'm thankful because he just never wanted to be too far away. So that allows me to take him to the park. I take him to the park. I have to. I take him to the park at least 3 to 4 times a week um, to let him just burn out his gears. Like just go. I just say I say go, and he just goes, and he'll full force run, do circles, chase the ball. Um, Run from tree to tree, chase the birds if he wants to, just like love following the birds, but he gets a pretty fast speed. You do see some of that greyhound in him come out. He looks like a pony running on the field.
I think it's beautiful. I think one of the most beautiful things to watch is to watch the Dobie run. How they get down and they start stretching real, like they
Yeah.
stretch. It's like almost walking on air. You know what I'm saying? I think it's
Mhm.
very beautiful. I would say this from what I've learned and seen with my own boys, we as the Doberman owners, we have to slow them down. We literally have to stop them from running because they will run until they pass out.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to get to that point.
Yep.
So other dogs are like, huh, I ain't chasing that ball no more. I'm tired. No, my boy will
Yeah.
still try to run down there and get that ball. You know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
is that something you have to like? Okay, you know what? Let me slow him down now.
I do. I do, and there's always the fear, right? Because, the heart condition in Dobermans, particularly in European Dobermans too, is always such a concern. Um, so I get scared sometimes when he goes too hard for too long. So I do have to tell him to rest, take a break, especially during the summer times because it gets real hot out here
Yeah.
in Cali. Um, so, you have to adjust your lifestyle to accommodate for that, like, so I'm not taking him out during the day. I have to wait until the sun goes down and let him run it out in the field on the summer times, and then in the winter it gets dark so early. I got to get him somewhere where I could see him, where there's lights on the field. So your lifestyle changes a little bit when you bring Adobe home. I think, unless you have that space at home for them to fully, freely run, taking them out is not an option. You have to. It's not a if. It's you have to.
You know what? I'll make a suggestion on one form of exercise to shorten your. It shortens your time at an open field. Now, is he trained to the point where he can do a long down and you can walk like 50 feet or 100 feet away from him?
Yeah,
Is he down?
he
Okay,
holds his
good,
yeah he holds his down
good.
pretty good.
Okay. And he loves the wedge. He loves the tug too, right? And the ball. See, he loves the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I would do if you want to shorten your time in the park. Put a harness on him, put him on a long down. But before you put him on a long down, once he got the harness on him, put one of those $5.99 parachutes that the track stars use. Tie the
Oh yeah.
parachute on the back of the harness. Make sure you're
Yeah.
facing against the wind. You put him on a long down. Well, first you get him used to walking with the parachute just by letting him walk with it on his
Yeah.
arm. Because
Feeling the
when it
resistance.
feels like what the heck is that? While I'm running. So now he get used to it. But if you put a parachute on him, 3 big wind sprints, that's like running 8 times for him
Yeah.
because he's running against that wind. He's going, and
Mhm.
then that chest starts getting bigger and bigger. Oh my God. Listen, I'm having flashbacks. So
Let me
try
ask
to
you this
parachute.
though. Let me ask you this though, because one of my concerns as a pet owner, right, is I don't want to build too much endurance in him because the reality of a normal family having a working breed dog is they're only going to exercise the dog for so long, right? Like, so what used to tire him out for 30 minutes now becomes 45 minutes, now becomes an hour before I can tire him out because I'm building up his endurance that way. Is that sustainable for an average Dobie pet owner?
I think it's sustainable as long as he has the youth, right?
Yeah.
These dogs get old quick, unfortunately. So in the beginning, it will be great. It's more bonding, it's more exposure, it's more eliminating any environmental issues. But is it sustainable? That's going to depend on your lifestyle. If you have the
Mhm.
time to put the
Yeah.
harness on and to tie the parachute to the harness properly so it won't mess up. Um, but to get them, I know. So I'm putting it in a category like you don't want to build him up where when he does the harness and the parachute, but then we don't. But then we want to go out 2 days later and want to just do regular running. I have to do twice as much running for him. I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think the joy of him being out is going to still satisfy his urge. Now he's Adobe. You can run him for
Yep.
2 hours and he
Mhm.
goes home, get his water, relax. The only thing that's going to stop him from whining because Dobie's whine too is
Yeah.
him getting food after a long day of working out. So it's
Mhm.
going to be all about, like Larry would say, exposing him to something different.
Yeah.
But to build him up where he would have to run 55 minutes versus the 45 that he's doing because now he's conditioned himself to be in that with that
Like an
parachute.
athlete, essentially an athlete. Yeah.
Right. But here's the deal. I mean, you want to prepare him for anything at the house. Now, God forbid anything happens, but we live in LA County. There's clowns everywhere,
Yeah.
and his instinct gonna kick in. But when they kick in, will he have the endurance to keep it up? You know, will he be able
Yeah.
to bark for a long period of for minutes without getting tired?
Yeah.
Because when you're barking, you're expanding your lungs, you're working your heart out
Mhm.
too. And I learned that from Steve-O. Like that's another good exercise, barking. Staking them out. Well, you're not doing that stuff, but let me ask you this. So, yeah, try the parachute thing. That'll really tire his ass out first time around. Trust me. Um, are you thinking about getting him a partner, like a little sister or a little brother, any given any time in the future?
In the future, yes, I would love another dog. Is it gonna be another Dobie? I don't know, but I do know that I'm not ready to bring another dog home until he's fully matured. He's got all that puppy out of him where I'm not dealing with 2 puppies at one time. Um, and he's got all of his obedience to the level that I want it to be, because the worst thing I want is to bring home another dog and that dog's learning bad behavior from Cooper. And now they're both teaming up on me.
Yeah. So we got some comments and questions in the chat. So off leash of mine is a big lot. Let me see. I off leash a lot. I off leash mine in a big lot. Okay, at a
Yeah.
bike ride. My boys need to sprint. Yeah, that's
Yep.
you got
It's
you
true.
ain't gonna have no 100-foot leash. You're gonna have to. Uh,
Yeah.
um, Nola, the Doberman, some fire. Appreciate it. Joseph said, "How does the Dobie community feel about cutting the dog's ears to military crop versus long show crop?" Now, that's a good question. So what he's talking about, Lone, is the battle crop, the real short crop.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, if they Google the original Dobermans from Louis Frederick Doberman, they were basically battle crop ears. It wasn't medium show crop or long show crop, right? So um, the Doberman community, I don't think trips too hard on how short the croppings are. But I will say this: if there is a cropping on a Doberman short, it's because the original cropping of the medium crops or the long crop, they taped them too tight and they killed the ears. So therefore, guess what you got to do? Cut them down again. So that's what happened to Bose before I rescued him from the previous owner. He taped the ears too tight. And he thought I was a fool to not notice that. I said, send me a picture of Bo. So he cut the picture off right here. I said, what is this? And then then he realized, yeah, man, I taped them too tight. I said, man, you got to cut off both of them now because one is dead. You can't have a dead ear and it's just look weird. Um, this is my question. When I walk my dogs, right? People part like the Red Sea when I'm walking my boy. And they seem like they're scared of my dog, but my dogs are dialed in obedience wise. And I tell people, I say, hey, it's not the dogs you have to be scared of, right? It's not the dogs you got to be scared. It's those people, the people you don't know who you have to be scared of, right? So my question is, how is the people at large viewing you, and what is their physical response and their physical movement when you see them and they see you with your boy Cooper? What do you see is happening? Can you hear me? Are you there? Can you hear me? Yes, it's okay, Joseph. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Don't tell me your earpods are the battery's dead. Can you hear me? Mic check. Hold on, guys. We're having technical difficulties on her end. Let me chat with her. Can you hear me? You there? Guys, sorry about that. Let me take these comments right quick. Hey, Lone, I know a guy with a great Dobie stud. That proves very nice. Appreciate it, Rich. Other dog owners be crossing the street. Yeah, they'd be like, "Yo, it's not the dog you got to worry about. It's these clowns out there in the community that you got to worry about." I ain't never heard of it. I can't hear you. I never heard of a Dobie breaking into a house or stealing a car or carjacking or shoplifting. Can you hear me? Oh, that's a good question, Rachel. I'm gonna answer that one. Can you hear me? Long, can you hear me? So, Rachel, while she get her audio taken care of, can you train a skittish dog to not be that way? This is a very debatable question, but an experienced trainer and an experienced owner will tell you if the dog
If
has
the
not
dog
been.
has not been,
Can you hear me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Oh wow, what
Oh
happened?
wow, what happened? Your
Earbuds must have died.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I lost you for a little bit.
Do you have me
Do
on
you have me on
speaker on 2
speaker
devices?
on 2 devices?
I don't think so. Is there a bit of an echo?
Or I hear
Or
myself.
I hear myself.
There's an echo.
There's an echo.
Yeah, we're echoing your end.
Yeah, we're echo on your end.
Whatever you did on your part,
Whatever you did on your
end,
part,
it changed the
your
audio
end,
of it.
it changed the audio of it.
Yeah.
Are you live on another
Are you
device
live on another?
or watching the live on another device?
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, nice. What happened?
There we go. I think I just lost audio for a little while. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I said the question was, I'm having a hard time socializing him. The question is, when you walk your boy Cooper, how are people perceiving you? Do they like cross the street when you're walking on the sidewalk, and are they scared
Yeah.
of you? Like, oh my God, Adobe.
Either or.
I remember those back in the day.
It's either or, right? You either get the people who cross the street or pick up their dog or kind of move away from you, and you try to be respectful too, right? Like you got to be respectful because you never know. People can have fear of any dog. It might not just be a Doberman. So we do try to be respectful when we're walking to cross the street if there's kids or anything like that, or put some distance between us. But the other flip side of it is either people love them. They come up, they're not afraid of them. You know, I can have a do not pet sign on him and people will still just come up. And I have to be careful with that because they'll startle him.
Yep, and the defense will kick in
Mhm.
because they're animals at the end of the day. They're still animals.
And the intentions are good. You know, they love the breed. They just want to come up, say hi.
What are your plans with him as far as training with Larry? How far do you want to go with it with him?
You know, she asks me this too, and I tell her I just want to have fun with him. You know, I want to make sure he's fulfilled, and all the basic things I need from him are leash work, sits, stays, place work, things where if I had to leave him with family, I don't have to worry about him being a menace in their home, or you know, I can have anybody walk him and he'll be good on leash. And then anything outside of that is the fun stuff, right? I probably do want to do a little bite work with him just for fun, just to get that natural instinct out of him. But in order to do that, he needs to learn some bite work skills.
And that's on the horizon.
I hope so, because it looks so fun. It looks really fun. Johnny's been trying to get me out into the South Bay group for a long time. We play and we flirt with him a little bit with some of the tugs and the equipment, and he seems to love it. I'd love to take him to Fast Cat sometime just to see how fast he could run. That looks really fun.
I did that before too. I did that before. You definitely got to have somebody with you to help you.
Yeah.
And
somebody at the other end of it.
And it should be you at the other end, because if you're really, your dog will run faster for you than he would for somebody else, right?
Mm, yeah.
Um, I I am a firm believer in protection training, and I'm gonna tell you why. And trainers will tell you somewhat of the similar thing. Protection training is really obedience training, because you're exposing your dog on when and when not to respond. And you're able to control him when he is responding to something and getting protective.
Yeah.
Um, if my dog see, if two of my dogs, or the other one's a puppy, if he sees a cat running across the street and he goes after him, all he gotta do is get one command, couche.
Hmm.
He goes down, because now he knows in the heat of battle, he knows no matter what he's doing or what he's going after, if I say down, down.
He's gotta listen.
Right. That scenario is not taught in obedience, because the
Yeah.
dog is never going after something during obedience. Everything is always, dog pays attention to me.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I say protection training, it would be nice for you to do a little bit something with Larry on that one. I would say the boy will excel in it. It's fun. He lives for it. Most
Yeah.
European Dobies have some workability. Let me get this comment in here. Rachel said, I'm having a hard time socializing him, because he goes crazy with anybody that comes to the house. If we take him out, he barks like a maniac. So basically what he's doing, he's barking, Rachel, and I'm not a trainer. I've just been around
Yeah.
a lot of dogs, a lot of clubs. I've trained my own dog at one point. What that is he's telling people, stay away, stay away. So he's being
Hmm.
very vocal, like, get out of here. I don't want no beef. I don't want no problems. He
Hmm.
wants to be heard first and not seen. So yeah, that skittish thing, to me, that's genetic. And you may curve that issue a little bit, but there's something going to trigger him out there in the environment one day that brings that all back to the forefront. So
I
skittish
think you
dog,
gotta you gotta get down to the reason behind it, right? Is it an aggressive reaction or is it a fear-based reaction? And I'm not a trainer either. These are all things that I had to learn and figure out the difference of. I thought all reactivity was aggressive reactivity. I didn't realize that some of it could be fear-based, and it's just the dog's version of, like you say, give me space.
yeah,
Um, with Cooper, I did a lot of neutrality training with him. I take him everywhere with me. I took him everywhere with me when he was young. And it wasn't like we took him to physically socialize with people or other dogs, but I would take him outside of the dog park, or I would take him to an outdoor mall, and we would just sit in a corner and just watch people go by.
yep. Unique beautiful journey 7261. So I'm assuming your date of birth is 1972. You're born in June 1st. I don't know. She said it's best to do short bursts of racing, like sprints, instead of
Mhm.
long hours of endurance. Strenuous running and exercise cuts a dog's lifespan. It's been proven. Greyhounds are sprinters, not endurance racers. You know what?
Mhm.
I kind of have to agree with that a little bit, because
I
you
do
put
too.
so much strain on the dogs. Now, unique, beautiful. How about having a dog go swimming? That's that's not hard on the joints. Very The dogs don't overheat, because dogs don't sweat, and is using all of his momentum, but no, is weightless. What do you think about swimming?
Have you taken him swimming, or have you taken your dog swimming? Because Dobermans are not known to like to go swimming.
Right. So that's a good point. They'll fight a water hose all day long, right? Most dogs, other than dogs with web feet, like Labradors, who come with web feet, are not swimmers at all. They will drown. They will
Yeah.
sink to the bottom. My friend Laddie, who has this Instagram page called King of the White Dobermans, he has a pool in his backyard. He has taught all of my dogs how to swim, and he put life vests on them and teach them how to swim along the edge of the pool while he either gets in there with them or he pulls them along with a leash. And at some
Yeah.
point, they start loving it because they got to have some kind of prey drive to want to get
Yeah.
into the water, right? So I think swimming, I don't know your setup, but the pool is definitely number one. Is a great form of exercise, and believe it or not, it regulates their bowels. Like most of my dogs, when they get that after all that running and stuff in that pool, they taking a nice little release, and then
Yeah.
they're good. Because the food that they was going to use to digest that hasn't passed out through yet, with all that moving around inside their belly, inside their organs, coming right out. So love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to give it a try. He hasn't had any interest in getting into a pool yet, but if it's calm water, I've taken him to lakes, I've taken him to like the bay. He'll go in like willingly on his own. So he'll get about like up to his chest deep enough where he could still stand, which is surprising to me. I actually didn't think he would ever do it. But he just naturally did it on his own. I was surprised.
You know what's interesting is that I have a rental property in Belmont Shores, right? And it's right there on Ocean Avenue, Ocean and another street. I'm not gonna say what street, but it's on Ocean. It's near Second.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a dog beach park there, right?
Rosie's.
And Rosie's,
Rosie's.
yes.
Rosie's.
And as bad as I want to take my boys to experience saltwater in the ocean, those radical ass little dogs with no training will just it'll be an issue for my dog because he's gonna say, "Hey, Dad, you're gonna protect me? These little Chihuahua little dogs are nipping at me,
Yeah.
barking. I'm just trying to enjoy my time with you." I want to do that, but it's like
You
I
got to
can't.
take him to a quieter beach. You got to take him to a quieter beach.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have done the beach with him in a much quieter section. He did not care for the waves. So, loved the sand, did not care for the waves, did not want to go in the water.
One of my first real Dobie, Alonzo, the red one, he would jump in the ocean and he would literally try to bite the waves. I'm like, bro, you're not hurting nothing, right? And he would love this. It's good for them to be exposed to something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, let me get some of these comments because Rachel's having an issue with a dog that is skittish. Joseph, his Rachel's her. He's scared of his own shadow. Rachel, I'll be honest with you, and it's just me. So people may or may not like my suggestion, but I can't deal with a skittish dog. I have enough of dealing with 11-year-old son, 2 cats, 4 dogs, 18 tenants. I don't have time to rehabilitate an animal. That could be with somebody else. My dog has to be balanced or a sense of confidence when I get him as a young pup. I can't do this because you're not going to get that skittish stuff out of him. It gets worse. Joseph said, Rachel, I would take him to a professional trainer and get him evaluated. Yeah, do that because that's a battle right there, and that's going to be costly.
And that's because of something. Something must have happened for him to be scared of his own shadow.
And it can be genetic too. I mean, it can be traumatizing where the mama snipped at him before he was off the nipple, or the previous owner beat him or screamed at him. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. Take a few more comments. I'm thinking of taking mine to the dog beach in Huntington Beach. Is there a dog beach in Huntington Beach? Must be.
There is a really big dog beach in Huntington Beach, but again, your dog's got to be okay with other dogs running up to them because that's what the dog beaches in Southern California is. People have all of their dogs off leash. Most of them probably are friendly, most of them, but you you got to be willing to take that risk, and you got to make sure your dog's balanced to not react. And that's not a risk I'm willing to take with Cooper, because unfortunately he's always going to get the blame because he's the Doberman.
Yeah. Yep. All right, people, listen. If you want to follow Cooper's life, he's only been in the world a year and a half. He's got a long way to go. Go to Instagram at cooper.thedoby. Follow him, watch his progression. She does a lot of great things with her animal. You guys should take some notes and do the same thing, if not more. And I want to appreciate you coming on, Lone, to do this. I know this is like a Thursday. It feels like a Friday, don't it?
Yeah, it's the holidays. It's the holidays.
Man.
But, you know, thanks for having me on. It's not your usual topic or person, you know, to usually have on your podcast. So I appreciate it. I appreciate being able to give people insight on a normal pet owner type outlook for Adobe.
I got one question before we go. How was your Thanksgiving? That was part of the one question. Was it good?
It was good. I took Cooper to the wineries. We went to the winery.
Did you have Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, here's my question. And people, you guys got to answer the same question. I know the answer. What is the difference between Thanksgiving food, Thanksgiving dinner, and Christmas dinner? What's the difference?
Turkey?
There's no difference.
Oh.
There's no difference. It's the same stuff.
Wow.
It's still a turkey involved.
It's the decorations then. It's the decorations then.
Same food, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to have Thanksgiving again in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Another fried turkey.
And Cooper will get another turkey neck. So
there you go.
Yeah. It's Thanksgiving dinner for everybody, including the dogs.
Hold on. Somebody said somebody already subscribed to you already.
Thank you. Thanks for the love.
Hey, again, people, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I know I've been doing a lot of podcasts. I overbooked myself, but I have commitments that I got to stick to. Tune in this weekend. I'm going to have Lorenzo Williams, who is a Rottie breeder, a European Rottie breeder. He works his dogs. He actually put them in IGP shows where he is the handler and the trainer. So I always tell my people, Lone, at every podcast, 2 things. Be resilient, but be responsible. Until next time.
Yeah.